Okay, now we begin the implementation phase of our project. This is where we write all the code for our project. So what we're going to start with is a folder with our Fiverr icons and the two variants of our logo here. So I'll put these in the project files or the module description for you to download before you get started with this section. So once you have this folder, you are going to just take it and drag it into Visual Studio so that we can start coding our project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to maximize this and I will make it full screen for now. So what I'm going to do is create our main page, which is going to be index.html, because that's the entry point of any website. So I'm going to click on this icon here and I'm going to say index.html and I'm going to create that file, then open it. Within our file here, because I have Emmet, I'm just going to put the exclamation mark and press tab, and this will generate this boilerplate code here. So I'm going to give our website its description, which is its title, which is going to be lost and found, like this. I'm going to save this, and now we have to begin coding the body of our website, our home page. So what I'm going to do is show you how to code the body of our website from scratch. We're going to be using Bootstrap. So what I'm going to do is go back to the Bootstrap CDN. I need the Bootstrap CDN. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to bootstrap.com and get that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for the Bootstrap CDN. That's what I want. Okay, so what I'm going to do is copy this right here and then copy our JavaScript right here. So what I want to do is copy this to the head section of our website like this, and then copy the CSS like that. Okay, once we have Bootstrap linked to our project, we are now ready to get started coding the body of our website. In order to see the changes that we make to our website, what I'm going to do is click on Go Live here to start our live server. And this will open up our web page here, and we'll be able to see the changes we make in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of this thing. I'm going to get rid of those because I don't need them. I'm going to put this right there. I'm going to try to adjust this accordingly. Okay, I'm going to be coding right here and our changes will appear here. So the first thing we need to get started with is our navigation bar, which is at the top. So we're going to code the code for the for the nav bar. And to do a Bootstrap nav bar, all you have to do is create a class called nav, and the name of that class will be nav bar, and then nav bar extend, expand, small, and then nav bar light. Okay. Oh, okay. We're going to code the nav bar of our website, and I'm going to be using M8 here. So I'll be using a lot of abbreviations. I'll start by coding the nav bar with a class of nav bar and another class of nav bar expand small, and then nav bar light. This is Bootstrap, and this one ensures that our nav bar is a nav bar, and it allows our nav bar to contract and give us the drop down icon when it is in smaller devices, and the light button ensures that our nav bar has a light background. From there, I'm going to give this a class of container. I'm going to put our nav bar items into a class called container, and within that class we're going to have an h1 icon, an h1 tag, with the class nav bar brand, and another class of logo. So within that h1 icon, I'm going to have our image, our logo image, and I'm going to try to restrict its width to 200 pixels. That's going to be our maximum, and there is our logo. This one is going to be our maximum width, not our actual width. This will allow it to contract and expand if need be. From there, I'm going to have another div with the class of collapse and nav bar collapse and an ID of menu. So I'm going to have it look like this, and within this nav bar I'm going to have an unordered list with a class nav bar dash nav and ms auto, like that. Within here I'm going to have some list items. I'm going to have some list items with the class of p1. This will yield a padding of 1, and again a margin of 1 within all our list items. And within the list items, I'm going to have an anchor tag to lost.html. That's going to be a file that we'll be creating, and we're going to name that search link, search lost item. Then the next one, I'm just going to copy this multiple times, duplicate it 3 times, and then change the particulars. So I'm going to paste this and then paste this, and I'm going to change the location. Here I'm going to say view items, and this will go to lost.html, and the middle one, yeah, I'm going to take it to report lost item, and I'm going to redirect it to a file called dashboard.html, like that. And as you can see, our navbar is not showing up yet. It's not showing up. That's because when I reduce the size of our screen, our navbar collapses. What we should do is add the toggle button here, and we're going to go up here, Saber, create a button with the class navbar toggler, and within the button I'm going to have a span with the class navbar toggler icon for the icon, and I'm going to save this. And as you can see, our icon now appears, but it's not functional, so we have to make it act on our menu here. Remember, we gave our menu an ID of menu. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the class again. No, we're going to give this another attribute. We're going to give it a type of button so that it knows that it's a button, and we're going to give it a data.bs.toggle, and this value is going to be collapse. And then we're going to give it a target, which is data -bs target, and we're going to target our menu here using its ID. We're going to target our menu, like that. Then if I save that, this one should be able to toggle our menu right there. So I made a mistake here. We must select this by its ID there, and as you can see, we are now able to affect our menu there. So our website will be responsive. We will be able to see our menu items in smaller devices as well. So this is responsive. Don't worry about the colors. We'll adjust those as time goes on, or maybe let me do it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to files again, and I'm going to create our CSS file, and I'm going to call it styles.css, and I'm going to link it to our HTML file here. Within the head section of our file, I'm going to say link, and I'm going to say href is equals to styles.css, and I'm going to say the relationship between these files is that one is the style sheet, and I'm going to save that as it is. So let me see those icons. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this menu right here. And within this menu, I'm going to select the items and change their color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the ID to change, to select the menu items. And I'm going to select the unlisted and then the list items and then the anchor text within those items. So I'm going to say text decoration, none. And then the color, I'm going to say black for the color. And let me see, that's it. Like that. They're going to look like this one. Let me try to put in another color. I'm going to put in another color just in case I don't have the time to come back and do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the color is red when we hover over the items. This will do this thing here. So we are done with our nav bar, and as you can see, it looks okay for now. One more thing I forgot was to remove the padding and the margin for our body. So I'll say margin here, I'll say 0, then I'll say padding, I'll say 0 to remove the default padding and margin of the browser. Once we are done with our navigation bar, we are going to code the next section of our website, which will be our hero section, because that's where we're going to have our form. So what I'm going to do is add a comment here that this is our hero, this is our hero section right here. And then I'm going to create a div called home. Within that div, I'm going to create another div for our container, and I'm going to give it our form, and I'm going to create a padding. I'm going to give it a padding of a vertical padding of 5 so that it separates the items a little more. And then I'm going to create another div which is going to be a card. That card will have a shadow, a shadow 5, and I will remove the rounded borders of that card. So as you can see, our card is created right there, but it's empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give our card a title of report lost items. And as you can see, there's our report lost items, but it's not the title of our card. So I'm going to adjust that by making it the title of our card like that. And then now we get to the fun part. This is where we are going to add our form into our website here. So I'm going to create a form like that. And within the form, I'm going to create a div for our input. I'll say div and I'll give it a margin of 10. Then I will say label, I'll give it a label for item, item name. Then that last is going to be form. Oh, what am I doing? Form label like that, and then I'm going to create our input of type text, plus is going to be form dash control. Our ID is going to be item name. This is important because we're going to use it to target this field in JavaScript data in the course. And our placeholder text is going to be enter item name, like that. Enter item name. And I'm going to make this input field required. I'm going to close that and save it. And our input field looks like this, as you can see. Let me see. Something's wrong here. It's either I made a mistake, which is likely, but I might have used the wrong version of Bootstrap here. Let me see. 15. Oh, Control C. Five point 3.0. No, I didn't make any mistake, but shouldn't look like that. I think I might have missed the body of our card here. A card is supposed to have 3. All right. I think I missed the body of our card here. So I'm going to say div class card body. And I'm going to give this a padding of 6 pixels. And then close this out and copy. Save this as it is, and as you can see, our form now looks much better. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the input fields that I created within our form here. I'm going to duplicate all of this. I'm going to duplicate all these input fields. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to have 1, 2, 2, say 3. Save it. As you can see, our input fields appear as they appear right there. Let me see. This is turning out to be a Bootstrap course instead of a CSS course, but it's okay. Let's go. For this one, I'm going to say item description. So I'm going to say item description. I'm going to change this one to item description as well. Item description, and then I'm going to say enter item description. Item description like that. And this one will still be text. Wrong one. I'll say Control X for this one. That should be our second input field. As you can see, there's our input. Here I'm going to see the type is going to be text area, so that it's much bigger. Yeah, I'm going to have text area like that, so that this is our text area, and I'm going to close it like that. our item description and our item name are now okay. So I'm going to move on to the next element here, which is going to be the date. So I'm going to change this label here to date. I'm going to change the label to date. I'm going to change the type date also, from control, and the last thing I'm going to change is the ID, which will also be date, and I'm going to erase the placeholder text here for the date because dates don't have placeholder text. I'm going to capitalize this one. Okay, now to the last element of our input file, our form, which is going to be the file that we're going to it's going to be image. It's going to be our image, and our label will say image or picture. And then I'm going to change this. Yeah, now our form is all but complete. All you need to do is create a button. That button is going to have a class of btn, and btn primary is going to be a primary button, and its ID is going to be report item, like that. And I'm going to say submit here, submit. So there is going to be our button. If I expand this, and as you can see our form, it looks like this for now. What I'm going to try to do is separate this a little more by adding a padding. Let me see if I can add a POI of, let's say, 2, yeah, to separate those out a bit. No, let me add a margin. Yeah, now it looks kind of good. Doesn't look bad at all. So now I think our input form is complete, but I'm going to have a few sections beneath our input form here. I'm going to have a few sections below our so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have another section. I'm going to try to format this in a way that it looks good. And as you can see, our app for now looks like this. Okay, now I'm going to have another section, and I'm going to call that section text because I'm tired of naming things. I'm going to have a div of class container. I'm going to add another padding of 5. And I'm going to have a div with 1 column inside it. And an h5 text, which will be centered on smaller devices. The text is going to come from our app. Let me see. Going to create another row with a column inside it, and within that column I'm going to have a paragraph whose text will be centered as well on smaller devices. And let me see, where will I find the text? This will basically explain what our app is and what it does. Let me copy this directly from the live version of the app. Like that. I'm going to copy this. This appears like this for now. And below this text, I'm going to have another section. This section is going to be where we display our lost items later. Items for later. We'll write the code for that later down the line. So I'm going to skip that section. I'll write the code for that one later. So now what I'm going to do is just hide the footer of our website. I want the no, what did I do? I want the footer to have a dark background. The text should align. The text should be light, and there should be a padding of, let's say, 3. I'm going to contain this within a container, and I'm going to center the text at all times. And then I'm going to create an unordered list with list items. This will be list inline item. What the fuck's going on? Then I'm going to create an anchor tag to index.html, and I'll call that boom, like that. Our footer will be looking like this for now. Let me see our class for the another list is going to be list inline, and I'm going to remove the margin at the bottom so that there's no space between the footer and the bottom of the browser. So I'm going to copy this 3 times, like 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to save it like that. I'm going to redirect this to about us. I'm going to redirect all these links to the appropriate pages. I'm going to redirect all these to the appropriate pages, and I'm going to do the same thing I did to the links at the top. I'm going to go to our styles. I'm going to select that using the footer, and then the list items, and then the anchor text. And I'm going to remove the text decoration to none, and I'm going to say the color will be white. Our color will be white. This is going to be, that's not at last. Stupid me. Okay, yeah. And I'm going to create our hover state for these things. And the hover state is going to have a color again of red, because that's our main color or primary color. And as you can see, if I refresh this now looks like that. So let me see. Our app is coming together nicely. What I want to do now is, let's say, create our about us page. Let me see. I will create all the pages before I get started, or maybe finish everything first before I attempt to create another page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make our form functional. What I'm going to do is make our about us page, and then finish. Okay, what I'm going to do is finish the rest of our lost items, and then here I'm going to say how to report lost items. I'm going to give people the steps they need to take to report their lost items with us. So after that, I'm going to create our about us page, and then we'll make our form functional. From there, we'll make the login pages and code the functionalities for those. Forgive me if I'm taking way too long time. Forgive me if I'm taking too much time creating these pages. I know this is a Firebase course, but I thought, why not show the entire process? I could have just kept the HTML code and maybe tried to show the Firebase code only. But this is a beginner's course after all, so I want you to make this app with me completely from scratch so that I can show you each and every step I took to create it. So let's move on forward to how to report our lost item here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another container. Within that container, I'm going to have a heading, like that, and an ordered list. The first thing I want people to do when they found a lost item they want to report is to gather information where the item name, the item description, include as much detail as you can about the item, then date found, meaning which date did you find the item on, and let's say contact information, include your contact information, which is your email or maybe a phone number. And then maybe item pictures. So I just noticed something about our form here. I think I skipped one step, which is our email. So I'm going to put it between our date and our image. We're going to have an email. Let's see, submit image. So what I'm going to do is copy this and I'm going to paste this. I'm going to format this correctly. And I'm going to say for email like that. Then I'm going to say email. And then there is our input form complete. Back to the steps. Once you've gathered information about the item you found, what I want you to do is open what I want you to do okay, let's keep on going. Next, what I want you to do is access closed tab. I think I'm done with the action. I'm done with this section. I am tired of coding it. So what I'll do is move on to the About Us page, which will be our About Us page. Our About Us page will share a lot of code with our main page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the code. I'm going to create our About Us page here. Say About Us .html, like that. I'm going to copy the code from here, copy, and then I'm going to paste it right there. And that's going to be our About Us page. I'm going to link it at the bottom here, which will be about us.html. So in the About Us page, what I'm going to do is remove